Okay, well I've just come off the motorway with this Mondeo, and what I did notice travelling at 65 miles an hour is I always give cars a little bit of a wiggle test to get some kind of prediction how they would perform if I was to do an emergency swerve. Now with this vehicle it was very clear that there was a lot of roll, and to be quite fair, the car was very, very top heavy. I don't know why the car's so top heavy. It's only a saloon, but needless to say, it gave me concern for the handling capabilities of this vehicle at speed. So I would urge anybody thinking about buying a Mondeo to go for something with the sports shocks, or think about upgrading it, because I think you'd get a much safer car. Now, on a more positive note, what I've noticed with this car is it actually pulls very, very nicely. Now, when you're dealing with a Ford Mondeo, especially one like this, you know, it's done 70,000 miles, you're dealing with budget motoring, but I think you're dealing with budget motoring at its best. I'm going to do a 0 to 60 test now. 3, 2, 1. And 60. This is the 6-speed manual, and the 6th gear comes in fantastic on the motorway. You just get such a brilliant economy. The car sits below 2,000 revs, and you just flow down the motorway at 70 miles an hour. The steering on this car is very responsive. There's no major lag in the steering at all. In fact, I turn the steering wheel and the steering wheels are almost exactly the same time. Now, you'd think all cars are like that, but they're not. Even Mercedes have terrible lag. So the steering on this one, very good. I like that a lot. You kind of feel like you're connecting with the road too. You don't get that anaesthetized feeling like you get with power steering. Now the instrument cluster, very clear, very precise. There's no obstruction from the steering wheel. Center console, a little bit confusing, I would say. It's not the sort of console you're going to be able to operate the heating and the radio controls without having to take your eyes off the road. So I don't quite know why they made that so confusing. I can't even tell you where the heater buttons are. No, I can't even see it. Oh, here we are, they're up here. Why not keep to the dials? Dials are so easy. Rear view vision, not fantastic. It can be obstructed a lot by the headrests, and if you had 3 people at the back, you wouldn't be seeing a lot, that's for sure. Side mirrors, personally, I think they're at a good height, but they're way too small for the car. I can't really see where I've been, and I like to see more about what's going on around me. The driving position is very comfortable, though. I seem to be part of the car as I drive along. The quality of the seat, well, you do have a leather seat here, but I must admit it feels more like PVC than anything else. But to be fair, as I said before, this is budget motoring, and it's budget motoring at its best. You're going to pick one of these up, you're going to be picking up a second-hand car. It's going to be a bit knackered. Parts are going to be cheap. So what's the drive like? Well, you've got your 6 gears, you've got good tight steering, and the brakes, I'll give the brakes a test in a moment. The only thing is, as I said before, it's very heavy, top heavy, and I can't think why it's top heavy. I mean, it's bizarre, but it just doesn't like the corners. It doesn't like the corners at all. Driving this in the rain would be a bit of understeer and a lot of wheel spinning. But I'm going to give the brakes a test now. Not an emergency stop, but we're going to do a firm brake, just get an idea how they perform. So 3, 2, 1. Well, I can apply an even pressure. There is a gradual pressure there, and they're not grippy or grabby, but I must admit they didn't feel powerful, they didn't feel smooth, and it felt more like drum brakes than hydraulic disc brakes. So I wouldn't say the brakes were fantastic, but at the end of the day the car stopped, so that's the main thing. So, just to recap, you're thinking about buying one of these, take it for a test drive, give the steering a test, see what sort of response you're getting. As I say, this one really is top heavy, and it makes me think maybe the anti-roll bar links are done. At the end of the day, these are not expensive parts, but there are MOT failures. Have a look at the steering, seeing if that's worn. And really, I don't think you've got anything else to watch out for. As I say, this is budget motoring at its best.